What's up, everybody? Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network, alongside Mr. Rob Johnson. We are here live from the Siegel Center. Rob, we have an Atlantic 10 champion, and it is the number 5 seed VCU Rams.
Yeah, well, unlike them, we had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
me. But what didn't have technical difficulties was the determination, the pure just passion to want to be champions. That is what the VCU Lady Rams are. They are champions of the A-10.
Well, I mean, you got to be proud of this team. I mean, we've covered this team now going on 4 years. We've seen these seniors from the freshman year on to now, and it is a good thing to see the process of a team growing. When we seen, Taya Robinson as a freshman, and she didn't play her first half of that first year. She didn't start playing until late because of injury. Tara Reed, we saw the potential. We knew they would be good. We knew how good they could be. We saw glimpses of it the last 2 years, and now, finally, we see all the hard work. Coach Bethel Boyle and her squad, all the hard work have come to fruition. They are the Atlantic 10 champions.
And in that fourth quarter when technical difficulties again. When Taya Robinson, I'm getting a little choked up. When Taya Robinson went out with the 5th foul, the team stepped up. They continue to play hard. And to beat a UMass team by 12, 81-69, to me just shows and highlights just how prepared this team was to do what they did this tournament period. To beat the teams they beat, to beat them the way they beat them, to beat Dayton, and then to come here and do what they did today against a team that beat the number 2 seed at Fordham, a very good Fordham team. In fact, 2 teams, Dayton and Fordham, who've been thorns in the side of VCU.
Yes.
It is just a remarkable thing that we saw today.
Yeah, I mean, 2019, we know we harp back on it, but 2019 they lost to a Fordham team, and they lost by 15, and it was crushing because a lot of talent. The Danielle Hammonds, the Nara Williams, they had a squad, and they didn't lose anybody. Then they came back the next year, get to the championship against Dayton, and in Dayton they lose a tough matchup. Then they come here, they come home, despite everything going on with COVID. They said they locked down. They didn't have the greatest season number-wise. They were 15-10 coming into this, But then Coach Bethel Boyle and that defense started to come around. That team started to come around as a whole, and it was like we saw the growth of Taya Robinson right in front of us. We knew what Tara Reed can do. She had some struggles. She was injured, the early part of the year. But we got to see Taya Robinson grow to another level. Like, we saw her take that next step, and it was a great thing to see. I hate that she fouled out. You can see it, like, we were sitting here like, man, she fouled out? No, not now. But she fouled out, and her teammates picked her up. Who picked her up? Tara Reed. She picked her up. She came through in the clutch.
And let me also give some love to Maddox Covington. Her defense, her ability to take charges, and just her ability to bring havoc defense has to be commended. And you just can't say anything. You just can't say anything. Samantha Robinson, look at the way she played.
Yeah.
The timely threes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, UMass did everything. UMass threw everything at VCU they could.
Sydney Taylor.
But yes.
Sydney Taylor was a monster out there.
But in the end, it did not matter because the Lady Rams just did everything that they were supposed to do. And you have to talk about Taya Robinson, 79 points in 4 games. That's huge.
Yeah.
Include 19. She had about 11 in the first.
So she averaged, 19? So she almost averaged 20 points. And it's crazy because, like I said, we've seen her grow. Like last year, she wasn't on the I think she was 3rd team last year, but she was 1st team defense.
Yes.
This year, she's 1st team defense, 1st team offense. She wins the most outstanding player award. She makes 1st team. And it's just so good to see. And the Richmond product came along, and she's tough. She's one of those players that just wants to win, and she helped lead this team. But like you said, you can't leave out a lot of these young ladies that stepped up big time in this. Tabasi, wow! I mean, Tabasi was amazing.
Talk about the freshmen. Listen. Even though we're excited, they're here now. We're even more excited. I can't wait to get back to VCU women's basketball, game 1,
right.
to see this young lady play again. I can't wait.
Me too. I mean, and she's a freshman. The young lady out of Canada comes in and does amazing things, and she was clutch. 2 Canadians on the team. I think Sam's the other one. And so they got, they've been Coach Bethel Boyle's done a great job of recruiting internationally. She's been doing that for the last couple of years. She's gotten a couple from Russia, and then she grabbed, a couple from Australia with Teron Reed. She gets the 2 from Canada. She's a phenomenal recruiter when it comes outside of the country. And then, of course, she'll bring in pieces, and they just work together. Defensively, though, man. Defensively.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at Taylor Robinson again, right here from Huguenot High School, Richmond, Virginia. She averaged 30, I believe, in her senior year, or maybe 30 over. Oh no, she had 30. 30 is 30. Doesn't matter if it's career versus a year. And I'm just so proud of this basketball team. I mean, words cannot describe how proud I am of this team and what they have accomplished. And we don't know what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament. There'll probably be
That'll probably be last. I think the A10 champion has been like a 14 seed the last couple of years.
16 seed.
Yeah.
So like I said, no matter what happens in that tournament, we know that what they did today was just special.
They've been working at it, man.
They've been working, and even if they get a hard opponent, the opponent's still going to have to deal with a very tough, experienced defensive team. So, I mean, you just have to take your hats off to them.
Yeah, I mean, you do. Like I said, they're going to fight, and I'm glad to see
very
this
scrappy.
group. Oh, yes, and I'm very glad to see this group get that shot at the tournament because they've had so many chances. They've been so close, and finally, they're going to get that chance to go to the tournament. They've been to the NIT. They've done that. They've won a game in the NIT. They played Charlotte a couple years ago, so they have postseason experience. But anything can happen in the NCAA. And you said it, Rob. You said it beautifully. This tournament going to be wild. Anything can happen. COVID could take you out because COVID looked like the best basketball player in the game right now. So if COVID could take you out. Anything. We saw what happened to UVA. We saw what happened to Kansas. They couldn't even finish their tournaments because of that. So can
you imagine if a team starts the NCAA tournament and their opponent in first round gets COVID, second round, third? Imagine if a team gets all the way to the Final Four
and then play against somebody.
And their team had COVID the whole time.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, you've got to make sure, and that goes to my respect to these young ladies and the men, and we're crossing lines, because a lot of teams were affected by COVID, and some teams weren't, and they just kept playing. VCU's done a good job, both sides, making sure that they stay COVID-free. Now, I know they had some times where some games were canceled.
Right.
I think there may have been the other team, but they've done a good job in keeping things, just completely safe, etc. Now, let's just keep our fingers crossed that between now and the tournament, we don't have any hiccups.
Right.
Because that would be crushing.
And I'm gonna check real quick while we're waiting for the post game. We're waiting for an opportunity to talk to the team, and they're still on the floor celebrating. Actually, I'll swing you out there so you can see them. The team is out there right now, celebration.
Going on now for like the last.
It's been about 20 minutes,
about
Rob.
20, 25 minutes, almost a half hour. But they deserve it. As Taylor Robinson holds the trophy in her hand, the emotions of the situation right now, Darrell.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Like, people can make fun of us, but we're invested. I mean, we've worked tirelessly, running to games, covering the teams through the good and the bad, and this moment feels so right. Like, it feels good to see the ladies get this moment. Like, I mean, I know it's gonna sound selfish of us, but it felt like we won too, and that's just how I feel.
I mean, because think about it. I mean, for a guy like you who's been in media, a person like me who's in media, a newspaper writer, multimedia, etc. This is not easy business. This is tough business to have done the articles, to have done the photography, to have done the interviews, to have done the research. This takes a lot. And for us to finally see this team pay off, it feels rewarding. It finally feels rewarding that this team finally got what they deserved. And to be able to cover it, to me, is very special.
Yeah, Rob, I know we'll back real quick. It is. And so, great thing. Congratulations to the ladies. Now, we're going to get a quick update on the men before we get out of here and get set up for the next press conference. Right now, the men are down by 12. It's 46-35. St. Bonaventure is up right now. VCU shooting 34% from the field. St. Bonaventure shooting 38% from the field. And the number that you'll look at a VCU fan and say, this has got to be hurting us. Bones Highland has 5 points. That is not what you want to see, if you're the VCU faithful. Howland has 5. Vince Williams has 5. Ace has 2. Stockard 4. Watkins 4. Douglas 4. Banks 4. Once again, a classic Coach Rhodes team where everybody gets a piece, and everybody usually, comes through in the clutch. But St. Bonaventure is well ahead right now.
I'm just going to be honest. I felt like the 2-week layoff hurt VCU because they had momentum going. And, what worries me as we're getting to the men real quick, what worries me is, well, I'll say this. Utah State has been playing very well.
Right.
VCU beat Utah State.
Right.
Duke not being it. Duke going out for COVID. There's no way they can pick Duke to go to the tournament.
Right.
If they were to pick a Duke or a VCU, that'd be shameful. Tennessee, I believe, won the. Did they win the SEC tournament?
I'm not 100%. I don't want to lie. I know they were in the mix.
I know they were playing well. Tennessee was starting to play well. West Virginia still playing well. So some of those teams VCU lost to, however, they were close losses. They weren't blowout losses. Let's just hope VCU can get back into this game. If not, then we're going to have to keep our fingers crossed for tonight. They might be like one of the last 4 buys in, which means they're going to have to earn their opportunity.
And they've worked hard. I'm hoping that if they don't win today, they can get that large bid. They've had a pretty good year. They've won 19 games, But I'm going to have to say this, and I know this will be a little controversial to say this, but I've been feeling Power 5 bias, not only in college basketball, right,
but in college football. And I just think that, these people who are quote-unquote on these committees need to start they need to put people in there who know the game.
Yeah.
Because, just putting the Power 5s in there is no good. It's no good. Look what happened to it. Look what happened with the girls from California Baptist.
Yeah, and I saw that earlier. And they don't even get to get in. And there's some crazy NCAA rule where you have to be in Division I for 4 years. They've been in 3 years. They go 24-0. They don't even get to be in the tournament.
It said that they got good too fast. What sense does that make?
That makes no sense to me.
Makes absolutely
makes no sense to me.
So you worked hard, and you got. Oh, as we see, Taylor Robinson.
I'm gonna take a picture real quick. Hold on, y'all.
Taylor Robinson is cutting down the nets. Darrell Owens will get a photo of this. A special moment in VCU Rams history. A special moment in Virginia sports history, in my opinion. As I believe. And Darrell, let me ask you this: do you think that the number 1 and number 24 jerseys should be hanging in the Raptors? Because I believe that these 2 young ladies have been the landmark and just the foundation of what this VCU run has been. I think the number 1 and number 24 jersey should be hanging in the Raptors right over there.
That's going to be a very interesting conversation down the road, especially with the way Robinson has played the last couple of years. If 1 and 24 get in there, or they get their jerseys hanging from the Raptors, I wouldn't be surprised nor shocked. Let them go and win an NCAA game, and it's definitely going to happen, in my opinion. But it's been a great one, man. The VCU women, Rams, VCU Lady Rams have done it, man. They are going to the NCAA tournament, and they will be moving on to that next round. And much love to UMass. Great game, great effort all the way through.
Let me say this about UMass. They're a young team. They're a team that I think is to be reckoned with in the next few years. Coming in as a 7th seed, they fought. Like I said before, they fought hard. They did what needed to be done. VCU was just too strong. But I'm telling you, UMass, as they walk out, as UMass walks out, trust me, and you see the young lady with her hood on her head, with the players hugging her. I'm telling you, soak it in, young ladies. Soak it in, because trust me, you will be back. I'm very, very proud of UMass. What they accomplished tonight and showing what they are in the future, and they're young.
They're young.
So I can't wait to see a UMass VCU game next year.
I'm a huge, how I am about Philoxy. Maybe not the best game for her tonight, but she's tough. She's gritty. She's going to have huge games. She's only a sophomore. This her junior year's coming up, and that's what's like. And if Sydney Taylor, I'm not sure if she's a freshman. The way she played tonight, outstanding. They had 3 players. UMass had 3 players that made that all-tournament team. VCU only had 2. So that tells you how talented this UMass team coming in at a 7th seed.
Yes.
They were 14-6 They were 14-6 coming into this game, so they weren't no slouch. Watch out for UMass next year, man. I mean, we could see this well again next year, but Richmond will be somebody to reckon with,
oh my
and
gosh.
so will St. Louis.
Richmond is going to be good. Richmond's going to be very good. I know they're losing Parsons, but, you know, that's bittersweet. That's our senior year, but them, and like you said, St. Louis, oh boy.
Yeah, St. Louis.
St. Louis is going to be a force to be reckoned. Don't be shocked if St. Louis is knocking on the door of I'm not going to say undefeated, but don't be shocked if they have under 5 losses.
Arbison and Flowers are just a problem. Flowers 6'5", all length. She's just a whole problem. Arbison's been one of the best guards in the league for the last couple years.
She's got to develop her game. Once her game gets developed, it's over with.
It's over with. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been LegacyMaker Sports Network. This is our third year covering the Atlantic 10 Women's Championship game. Can't wait for next year.
4 years covering a period.
Yeah, and it's been phenomenal. So thank you all once again. I'm Darrell Lawrence. This is Rob Johnson of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, man.
And Darrell, next year I think we should try to make it a priority to do women's media day. I think because the women's A10 conference is going to be very hot next year.
It's going to be a beast next year. I mean, it's so competitive, y'all. So competitive. I can't wait to see what it brings. But once again, I'm Darrell Lawrence, Rob Johnson, LegacyMaker Sports Network. We out of here. Peace.